Okay, in this section, we are going to discuss how to secure our HTTP service and HTTP client in Ballerina. So in both HTTP service and client, we can categorize security methods into two sections: transport layer security and application layer security. As you can see in the presentation, we have options like SSL, TLS, and MTLS under the transport layer security, and basic code JWT, OAuth and OAuth2 under application layer security. The only difference here is how we configure the Ballerina service or the client. Let's see how to configure security for HTTP service. Here we have three levels of configurations. The first one is secure socket config under listener configurations. And this is the place where we configure SSL or TLS, transport layer security configurations. And the next two are OAuth configurations under service annotation and the resource annotation. And this is the place where we configure application layer security like basic code, JWT, and OAuth2, etc. Now let's see how to secure the HTTP client. Here all the configurations comes under HTTP client configurations. Here we have also we have secure socket configuration where we define the transport layer security, and the application layer security will be gone under OAuth configuration. First, let's see how we can configure HTTP service for transport layer security. If we need to configure SSL or TLS for HTTP service, this is how we can do that. Under the secure socket config, we can configure the key field, which has two fields like cert file and the key files, which is basically for the public certificate and the private key of the server. And if we need to configure for mutual TLS like MTLS for HTTP service, this is how we can do that. Under the same secure socket config, we can configure the mutual SSL field in addition to what we have done in the previous step. Now let's see how we can configure HTTP service for application layer security. Let's look at the authentication methods first. Here, we are going to secure our HTTP service for basic code with the use of a file user store, which means the data of the authenticated users and their permissions are provided by a file in a TOML format. What we have to do is just to configure the OAuth field of the HTTP service annotation like this. Then when we have done, then we have to define a config.toml file like this. That's it. Once this is done, the incoming request will be authenticated against the configured user store. Next, we have basic code with the use of a LDAP user store. The only difference here is the file user store config we have configured earlier now being replaced as LDAP user store config. For the simplicity of the code, I have removed some fields here. Next, if you are going to secure service with JWT auth, this is the sample. As you can see, we have JWT validator config here with the configuration that we need to validate the JWT like issuer, audience, and signature config, etc. The most important thing is there are three ways that you can validate the signature of your JWT. The first one is you can use your public certificate or trust store configurations and JWKS endpoint. Next, we are going to secure the HTTP service with OAuth2. As you can see here, we have configured the OAuth2 introspection config with the configuration that we need to validate the incoming OAuth2 access token. Here, what we do is we introspect the incoming access token with the configured identity provider or secure token service. Okay, now let's see how to configure the authorizations. Let's take this previous sample for JWT authentication we used. As you can see here, we have configured a field called scopes. In addition to JWT validator configuration we had. In Ballerina, we use scopes where we define a single scope or multiple scopes that the service should be authorized to. The same concept applies for each and every authentication protocol in Ballerina. Now let's see how we can configure HTTP client with transport layer security. If you need to configure SSL or TLS for HTTP client, this is how we can do that. It is quite same as that we have done for HTTP service, but the configurations here comes under HTTP client configuration. Next, if we need to configure HTTP client for a mutual TLS like MTLS, this is how we can do that. We have to configure the key and cert fields of the secure socket config. Now let's see how we can configure the application layer security for HTTP client. Here we are going to secure HTTP client with basic code. What we have to do is configure the auth field of the client configuration with the required username and password. And here we are going to secure HTTP client again with JWT auth. Here we have two options. The first one is the bearer token method. This is used when we need to send a JWT, which we already have. As you can see, we have configured the token like this. And the second one is the self-signed JWT. This means this is used when we need to send a JWT, which is generated by the microservice itself and signed using its private key. This is normally used the communication between microservices where the receiving microservice trusts the sending microservice. And the final one, the client auth 2. Here we have four options to configure. The first one is bearer token method. This is 100% same as the JWT bearer token method. The only difference is we can use access token instead of a JWT token, but the token can be either JWT or ATT in auth 2. The second one is the client credential grant type. This is the one of the three grant types that's supported by Ballerina according to auth 2 specification. Here we are configuring Ballerina HTTP client like this, and internally Ballerina will call to this token URL configured here and get the access token and use it for API call authentications. The next one is password grant type. Here also we are configuring the Ballerina HTTP client like this. As same as in the client credential grant type, Ballerina will take call to the token URL and get the access token for authentication. And additionally, if user has configured the refresh config here, if the access token get expired, it will be automatically refreshed. The next one, the final one would be the refresh token grant type. Here we are configuring the Ballerina HTTP client like this. As in the previous two grant types, Ballerina will internally call to the refresh URL and get the access token for the next API authentication call. Okay, let's quickly move into the live demonstration and see how we can secure HTTP service and the client. Here we have HTTP listener, which is secured with SSL, and we have HTTP service, which is attached to that secured listener. And then as you can see here, we have HTTP service annotation. Inside the auth field of here, we have configured for basic auth and JWT auth. And most importantly, we have configured the scopes in both steps as well. Since we have configured the basic auth, as you already know, we need to configure file user store because we are configuring basic auth file user store method. So here's my file user store. I have two users, Alice and Bob. These are their password, and the Alice have two permission scopes like admin and developer, but the Bob has only developer permission. Let's try out this. Once you invoke this curl request, it should get a 401 response since it is not authorized. Let's invoke again with the successful user. Let's use Alice. It should get a successful response now. Yes, we can see it's 200 OK response with successful payload hello world. And if you invoke this same service with the second user who doesn't have the permission to invoke this service, sorry, the password should be 456. Now you get the 403 forbidden. It means Bob user doesn't get authorized to use this. And as you can see here, since we have configured the service with both basic auth and JWT auth, let's once try one more time again with the JWT, which I already have. Okay, you can see the successful response here. Okay, we can configure the Ballerina HTTP client for the same purpose. Like I have defined, I can configure the auth field like this. And since it is secured with basic auth, I can just put the username and password like this, and in of the same service. Okay, it is getting the same service, same response as hello world. Let's move back to the slide. So far, we looked into both HTTP service and client authentication methods. Actually, these are the declarative way of handling authentication and authorization. There is another way, which is called imperative method of handling authentication and authorization. Let's quickly take a look at this. Here also, I want my HTTP service to be authenticated with JWT and to be authorized for the scope of admin. And there is no any difference with the listener initialization, but here you can see we have created a listener JWT auth handler object with the same JWT validator configurations. And next, we do not annotate anything for the resource or the service. And instead of that, what we do is we call the authenticate and authorize APIs using those handlers. And based on those calls, there are particular responses for authenticate and authorizations. For this JWT auth handler, we get JWT payload or unauthorized response. And for authorized API call, we get forbidden or nil. Based on those responses, we can take our own decisions and response as we needed. Like this, here we response a string or unauthorized response or forbidden. Likewise, there are handler objects provided for HTTP library for all the client and services authentication methods. We can use these based on the requirement, but most importantly, this imperative method should not be the first choice. This can be used in advanced use cases like implementing security for a web hub, etc. Okay, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.